Hey guys, welcome to Crypto Command. Exciting news in the Tron dApp space today. A new dApp is out on the Bankroll platform. This is called Bankroll Credits. Very differentiated from everything else that's currently in the Tron dApp space. Although, if you've been in the dApp space for a while, this may look familiar. There is an element of P3D or proof of weak hands. The way that credits works is essentially you deposit a fixed amount of your TRX into the contract, and as people buy and sell, you will get dividends for those transactions, and you can then roll that back into the total amount of your credits, or you can withdraw your dividends. But also, at any time, if you want to get out, you can sell your credits. And the idea is that the longer that you hold your TRX in the contract, the more dividends you're going to get. So what's really interesting about the credits platform is that, as described here in the About section, Bankroll credits are pegged 1-to-1 to TRX. So instead of having a token that's going to fluctuate over time and people are going to react to that, there's going to be FOMO or FUD where people are just all going to panic sell. Now you're looking at something where you're taking that element out. And so people could really start to pour into this. And this is very early, got launched last night, and if we go down here and look at the stats, you can see there are 1,084 people who are in. The contract balance is already over 26 million TRX. And of course, there will be fees that are associated with this. There's a 10% fee that's charged on buys and sells, and then that gets distributed among the dividend pool, referral rewards, and a maintenance promotion of the platform. I think that 1% goes to Bank Teller. I think that the Bank Teller has continued to show that he is an excellent developer and just being able to make new games and try to develop Bankroll into a broader platform, putting out Luck and of course the original Bankroll ROI. I had stepped back from Bankroll for a while, just given the issues that popped up with Luck at different times. But I think showing innovation and really being dedicated to trying to fix the problems, he has definitely delivered on the things that he's promised and getting Luck back up and running. And this is a really interesting opportunity. So I put 2.5K TRX into here. Not a ton by any means. Just going in here slow and just see what happens with this is my strategy. But it's definitely looking interesting. I only did this a few minutes ago, and I already have about 2 TRX in divs, and you can sit here and watch this, and the divs are continuing to go up over time. So I think it's going to be exciting to see how this works. And then I would guess, at least this is what I'm thinking, is that as people start to reach their original ROI, you're going to see people either start to sell a little bit or withdraw a little bit. This is really going to just fuel this thing and get it going. So for me, it was worth putting a little bit into here. Looking back at the original Bankroll on the ROI, I'm just going to show you how this has worked for me. I'd funded this with 26,000 TRX. That included when I was rolling back into this. My total withdrawals are now above that, over 27,000. And I'm just continuing to try to withdraw from this and claim the return. So that's been a nice element to this. You can see if we go down here, this is where I, things start to get interesting if you think about this relative to the new credits platform. There are almost 5,500 members on Bankroll, and we're sitting at about 1,000 on credits right now. So drawing in just the current user base, more of those, I think there's a lot that you'll see, and dividends get paid out as people join the credit platform as well, because a percentage of the money that gets put in goes into the div pool. So I think we will see that fueling the div pool for a while. And then on the stats, we have been hovering around the 30 million on the contract balance for a while. This is if you're in the bankroll space, this has been slowly trickling down. But here's what's interesting that I wanted to show you. Let's go over to stats, and if we go to the last, well, let's just look at the all-time. Well, it'll be more obvious on the 7 days. So you can see we hit withdrawals where it was hitting about 4.5 TRX withdrawed, 4.5 million withdrawed every day. This was sort of a ceiling, but then over the past couple of days, this has slowly started to trickle down. So on the 20th, we went down to 4.1 million, and then on the 21st, this is at 1.9 million. So, it was no surprise to see withdrawals increasing from the beginning of Bankroll. This was all increasing, and then here early in April is when we started to hit. We hit a 5.2 million TRX withdrawal rate. And then that sort of hit the ceiling, and then things have tapered down over time. And now we're at 1.9 million on the 21st. And I don't know if this is because people have started to hit whale status, which is certainly something that probably factors in here. But seeing the broader bankroll platform, the way that luck ties into everything, that they're fueling the whole ecosystem, this is really what Bankteller had tried to design. And so that's why I thought, well, let's play a little bit with the new game here in credits and just see what happens. So that's what I'm doing there. I also wanted to mention one other new DApp on Tron, and that's called Tron Solo. I'm flipping over here, and you can instantly see that this project comes from China. I'm going to flip over to English on here. This is it's a dice game, something that you would be very familiar with. There's kind of an interesting UI here in the way that the number works. We'll just do one roll right here just so you can see. We'll just do a minimum roll here of 10, and I'll just show you. You get this thing to spin, numbers flash, so that's kind of cool. And as that goes, I'm just doing a roll under 94 here. But what's been interesting here is that this has accumulated a pretty decent div pool, given that this just got started. So this is still in stage 1. You only have to play 20 TRX to mine one of the solo tokens. And so there are currently 376,000 solo that are frozen. And the div pool, it's small relative to a lot of platforms, but this has been, I've watched this grow over since the last dividend payout, and I've been in this. I've seen that this does pay out dividends. The dividends don't hit your account right at the time that the dividend countdown ends. It takes a couple of hours for them to get in, but they are definitely paying out. And so given how cheap it is to mine these solo right now, I've mined just under 250 solo. So I'm going into this very light, very, very light, but just kind of playing with this right now, just because this seems to be getting a lot of people who are playing. You can see that there are bets going through over here. Everything's tracking. This has been constantly moving. So I've been interested in that one and continuing to go into that pretty light. Last thing I wanted to mention was over here, switching over to the IOST platform and the IOST Play game. So if you're not familiar with IOST or IOST Play in particular, IOST Play is a game where they have dice, limbo, and ring. Limbo is basically like a moon game, if you're familiar with Tron Bet. Dice, very similar to any dice game that you've seen, but on IOST, this is so cool. It's so smooth, and it's so fast. Even in comparison to Tron, this is just so fast. And so it's a standard dice game, but it just moves incredibly well. And there are a couple of games on here, so let's go over, and then Limbo, let's just switch this over to something like 1.5. We'll do a minimum bet, which is 50, place the bet, and watch this go up. And all right, we hit it. So payout 75 on a 50 bet, and you're watching this go up. So not a lot of graphical addition here. You're just actually watching the number, but it's so fast. And this platform has not started to pay out dividends yet. But the reason that I'm mentioning this today, even though I've mined a bunch of the token here, not been collecting any dividends. But yesterday in the Telegram, they announced that now if you go over to dividends here, you can take your tokens and you can, what they're calling pledge or freeze them. You can freeze your tokens, and in about a week from now, they are going to start paying out dividends. And so there is currently 1.7 million IOST in the div pool. So this is pretty large, although people have been mining it for a while without the dividends being paid out. But this is a pretty cool platform, and I'm excited about this one. I've also been playing Endless Game on IOST, but that really got ported over from EOS, and this is an original IOST DApp. So excited to see where this one goes, and it's still early stages here. If you look at the mining, this is in round one. We're at 90% of round one, but currently, and this is going to have a drop as we hit round two in terms of token payouts per wager. So the mining fee is going to go up. But that's what I'm doing in the DApp space. Check these things out. I'll leave links in the description below. But please like, subscribe, turn on post notifications if you're new to the channel. And until next time, keep stacking those coins, filling those bags.